Hello, welcome back to my channel. Don't forget to like, subscribe, share, comment, and hit that notification bell so you can keep up to date with all the videos that I post. So let's get on to today's video. Okay, so today I want to talk about dating. So dating is always a funny topic for me to talk about. I'm not really like a big dater, not like a big relationship person. Um, I've been single since high school. So for me, it just feels like I've been single for my whole life because those high school relationships were they were really short, like like a few weeks, like maybe the max was like 3 months, but still very short, very like out of sight out of mind type of situations. Okay, so this is my own personal experience, my own personal viewpoint, so please don't like be in my comment section talking about, well, that's not how it is for me or for other people. I'm talking about myself. I'm not talking about you or the people that you know. I don't even know those people. Okay, so moving forward, I personally really love being single. um and maybe that's because it's like what I'm used to. When I was in high school, like everyone around me was like in relationships or dating, and it kind of dawned on me at some point that I didn't know who I was. I didn't know how, like, I tried to explain myself to myself, like, okay, who is Ariana? And I didn't have an answer. So I was like, ooh, I should probably figure that out, because how am I going to, you know, share things about myself with someone else when I can't even answer those questions for myself? So, yeah, I started my self love journey like way back when, and I'm still on it to this day. I'm gonna be on it forever. It's literally a lifelong journey. So I've had boyfriends, I've had girlfriends. I've always been like an equal opportunity lover type of person, but I feel like I never found someone that I really aligned with on like a deep molecular level, which is fine, you know. Things happen when they're supposed to. But for me, I never felt like the same attraction that people felt or wanted the same things that people wanted, which makes sense knowing who I am now, because I identify as gray sexual. Gray sexual is on the spectrum of asexuality. It's, for me, it's like when it comes to like attraction, sexual attraction, it's just like a major gray area. It doesn't really exist for me a lot of time, and that doesn't really mesh well with other people, and that's fine, you know. But I rather just wait to meet someone that actually aligns with me, rather than getting with someone knowing that I'm this way and then them trying to change me. Or some people are like, oh, this is a challenge, I can change her mind. No, you can't. Honestly, I was looking into like asexuality when I was in high school or when I was like 19, but I wasn't confident enough to actually like vocalize it and stand proud with that. But now I'm like, oh, I don't really care what other people have to say, but it is what it is. If you want to learn more about gray sexuality or asexuality, I recommend just doing research, and knowing that if you meet someone that's asexual or gray sexual or any of those demisexual, like, you should get to know that individual person, because it's not necessarily a one size fits all type of situation. You know, how I am might be vastly different from other people, and that's fine. Like, please do not go to those people and be like, oh, well, I met this person and they're not like that, so you're obviously not asexual or gray sexual. No, just leave leave the person alone, okay? Because it makes me think of high school when so many people like kept a microscope over people's like sexuality, like are you gay? Are you straight? Oh, I feel like you're like this, so you have to be in this category. And I really hated that. Like in high school I identified as bisexual, and like one, a lot of people thought I was a lesbian. Um, I remember being outed as being bisexual. I remember it was like the talk of the town, the talk of the school for like 2 days. You know, things passed by really fast back then. And it was really irritating because people just had this vision of what it should be like. Oh, you like girls, you know, I like girls too, we can like girls together. I don't even like you. Like, please leave me the hell alone. Like, I hate stuff like that. It's just, it's disgusting. Cleo. Okay, so as you can imagine, like, trying, like, learning about asexuality and stuff, like, way back when in my teen years, and just trying to, like, navigate life, especially at school, because you have so many, like, people in your ear, like, you should do this, you should be like this, and it's just like, shut up. I'm trying to figure out who I am for myself. This isn't a group project. I need to like just shh, shh. If you still like me after I figure out all these things, great. If not, great. But it was like very complicated. Like peer pressure was running rampant. So I felt like I couldn't 100% be myself or figure out who I was at that time. But, you know, I'm happy to say that I stuck with it, and slowly but surely I started discovering myself more and more. I feel like it more so took place in like my early 20s, my early to mid 20s is where I feel like I started really finding my footing. And I'm like, okay. So I kind of just I took like a break from dating or trying to get to know other people because there was a lot going on, and I had a lot to decipher, a lot to release. And you know, I felt like it wasn't something that I could necessarily focus on. Does that mean I didn't go on any dates? No, I went on a few. And they were fine for the most part from what I can remember, cuz honestly, I don't remember a bunch of them. Realistically, my memory is pretty good, but certain things just don't stick. Like, I realized I'm really bad at remembering faces and names, but I can remember certain, like, specific events that have happened. So if I can remember the event, maybe I can piece together knowing, like, remembering who the person is. But I was gonna say I'm trying to get better at that. I'm not. I'm really not. But in terms of like dating, I so for like let's say for preferences and people that I would date or kind of like give the time of day to, one, I like clearly I like people that I'm compatible with. I like people with a good head on their shoulders, people that are reasonable, people that know how to regulate their own emotions. That's extremely important to me. Um, like I like intelligence a lot. Like I remember I was on a I don't even want to call it a date at that point, but a date with someone, and during the date they told me like, "Oh, I don't like how to read." I was so done at that point. I was like, "Oh god, like please let's end this here. Let's we don't need to continue this at all." I really like, you know, I've been told like, "Oh, you want too much," because I say like I want someone that I'm compatible with similar values, someone where our schedules mesh well so we can actually see each other, because if we're not going to see each other at all, like I'm really comfortable being single and not dating, so I rather just not get into that. And people think I'm crazy because I'm saying like, oh, I want to get to know someone and get to know that they take care of their own personal hygiene. Like, they brush their teeth, they floss their teeth, they use a tongue scraper, they shower, they wash their ass. Okay? Because that's a thing. A lot of people don't wash their asses. So that actually is very important to me. I feel like it should be important to everyone, actually. But I've been told, like, oh, you're too much, you want too much. And I feel like the people telling me, like, if it's someone that's interested in me, they're saying it because what I'm saying doesn't align with who they are. And I'm like, okay, well, we're not compatible anyway. Like, don't try to fit yourself into the blank when you were never, like, an option to, like, be in that place in the first place. And I know a lot of people say, like, oh, you can be so harsh. I'm like, I'm just being honest. And that's another thing, I like honesty. Like, I don't like beating around the bush. Just say what you gotta say and let's keep it pushing. Even in terms of just like lighthearted dating, like, clearly I want to date someone or go out with someone that's respectful, that respects themselves, that honors themselves, that, honors their boundaries, that respects other people. Like, it's more like on a moral level for me than anything. Because anything outside of that, I just find very, like, off putting, very unattractive. And like, that's like the quickest way to get cut off from me. Or sometimes I don't really rely on what comes out of someone's mouth. Like, if my intuition's like, no, all right, like, it was great meeting you, I've enjoyed going out with you, but I'm gonna keep it pushing. Like, the same way, like I said, like, us having similar scheduling, or us, like, me and whomever, um like, communication's really important to me. I'm not saying we have to talk at, like, all hours of the day every day, but if I have to like, wait a few weeks for a response, like, even like a week is really pushing it. I'm just gonna step away, and I'll let the person know. Like, I won't just, like, block them out of nowhere. Did I used to do that at some point? Yes, I did, but I'm in recovery and I'm doing a lot better. In my life, I've experienced a lot of people try to, like, peer pressure me into getting to know someone, or going out with someone, or getting into a relationship with someone. I did that once, and that was in high school. And, like, because I just got tired of having everyone in my ear, so I just said, okay, yeah, sure, I'll do it, I'll go out with you. It lasted, I think it was like 48 hours or something, until I was like, I can't do this. I can't do this. And I ended it, because if my heart's not into it, if I have no interest, like, I'm not the person, like, the type of person that can fake things. Like, I'm not even going to try to. And even if I try to, my face is just like, so I have learned just to be honest. If I don't like someone, I just don't like them. And that's fine. As I tell everyone, like, it's not a bad thing that I don't like you. It doesn't make you a bad person. I just personally am not interested in you. And instead of putting your time and energy into me, or trying to get me to change my mind, one, you should be pouring, like, your love and attention into yourself. And then at some point, the right person's gonna come along and you guys are gonna mesh. But it's just not gonna be me, and it's never going to be me. And that's okay. I rather someone, and even myself, I rather go where I'm wanted than be somewhere where I'm not. It just doesn't make sense to me. So I'm currently on, like, two dating apps, and I've been thinking about deleting them because it's just kind of boring to me. Like, it's really repetitive. Everyone, like, oh, so what's gray sexual? It says it on my profile. You could have Googled this before you swiped any which way and figured that out for yourself, because it's a deal breaker for a lot of people, and that's perfectly fine. Like, let that deal be broken. I think in all of my years in being on dating apps. So I think I first joined a dating app when I was like 20 or something. I've met up with one person, and that was last year. We went on one outside date, and it was cool. Like, it didn't it didn't amount to anything. We weren't compatible in that way, but I don't have anything bad to say about the person at all. And then I had another date that I scheduled with someone else, but I was leaving my house getting ready to go. I remember being a bit anxious that day, and they canceled on me right as I was leaving the house. Like, oh, can we reschedule? No, we cannot, because I already got ready. I was gonna go all the way there to meet you. Like, it would have been common decency to let me know ahead of time. Like, I did not have to get up and get ready and do all these things. So absolutely not, I will not be meeting you at all. So I know, like, some people watching this video might think like she just sounds like she never wants to date or never wants to be in a relationship. That's not true. I'm just not in a rush at all to get into a relationship, or I don't want to date just to date. I don't want to date and go on dates just to, I don't really, not interested in meeting tons and tons of people. I don't feel the need to go out for to get a free meal. Like, I'm I just am not that entertained by the idea of constantly having to like go out and meet various people. Like, I'm really great at meeting people, but it's more so organically. Like, basically everyone that I've met, it's just been organically. And I think that's why I don't really mesh with dating apps, because it's not very organic, and it's just not really my vibe. And that's perfectly fine. Like, I gave it a shot, and I mean, that's all I could really do. I didn't know if I would like it until I tried. Um, but realistically, I think I'm just gonna go back to, I don't know, meeting people on accident. Oh, I ran into this person at the gas station, or at the grocery store, or at the bookstore, or wherever I was. I just organically met someone and we kind of hit it off, and we seem to have some kind of like chemistry. But chemistry is not enough for anything. You can have chemistry with a lot of things. It doesn't mean that you're meant to be together. And that's also perfectly fine. So there was one experience where I went on a date that was very unorganic. It was a blind date. It was the only blind date I've ever been on in my life. But my coworker at the time had said, like, I think you guys would really hit it off, yada yada. So yeah, I went out with this person and we went to the movies. I remember it was Anime Expo weekend, so all of the cosplayers were out, and I thought that was really cool. I've been to Anime Expo before. It's been like a long time. Like, I went when I was a teenager, but like, I really enjoyed it. Then we went to the bowling alley afterwards, and they were doing like anime trivia, and I'm over there like answering all the questions from my seat. I'm like, I want to go. I want to enter because I can answer all of this. But like, we did have a really great connection. It didn't work out. And personally, I have this thing where I don't like dating people younger than me, and so I already knew that it wasn't gonna work out. But we did hang out a few times. It was like really nice, always good vibes. And if that person ever happens to come across this video, hey, hope you're doing well. Hope your family is well, and all that. So I say all this to say that I am interested in dating. I'm just not interested in forcing situations or forcing like outcomes. I'm really in no rush. I'm very content with myself. Like, realistically, I haven't even kissed someone since like 2021, I think, which is like, it doesn't bother me. It's actually fine. Like, that's just life. And I know some people that I've told, they're like, oh my God, I could never, that's crazy. And I'm like, it doesn't bother me. Like, I'd rather be patient and find someone that I'm actually compatible with, someone that, we actually like each other. There's mutual interest, mutual respect. Like, we share some common ground. Until then, like, that's fine. I'm here to take my time, even if I don't date for like the next 8 years or something. Like, I it's okay because I have so much to focus on during that time. I get to focus on really getting to know myself, figuring out what I want out of like dating, or if I meet someone and it turns into like a long-term relationship, like I want to figure out what I want instead of just like hopping into something just to do it or just like to fill a void. Because I've had a lot of situations, and it's not like romantic relationships, but like a lot of situations where I felt more lonely being with someone or being around someone than I do, when I'm alone. Like, I'm really happy with myself. Sometimes, sure, I do get lonely, but it's not because I want someone else, like, to be in a romantic relationship with. Damn, sometimes I just get lonely and then it passes, and I realize, like, oh, I just need to pour more love into myself. Or, sometimes I get bored and people treat boredom like it's like the plague. Like, no, it's okay to be bored. You should learn to be okay with those slow moments, because not every moment's going to be fast paced and exciting. Because even if you get into a relationship, there's still going to be moments where you might get bored. Like, and are you just going to like jump ship as soon as you get bored, or are you going to stick it out because you know how to deal with those moments? And lastly, like, that's basically all that I've said is the reason I don't like to just date people. Like, I've known people that wanted to take me out and I just didn't do it because I can see that we're not compatible already. And this is something that I'm still working on, but sometimes I can be too flexible, and I don't want to start, like, I really develop feelings for someone very unexpectedly. I don't want to start being flexible in situations where I should not be flexible, doing things that I personally don't agree with before the heart eyes appeared in my eyes and I stopped thinking a little bit. Like, so I try to be very stern with myself, because I know myself and it's something that I'm still working on and working through. So, that's like the greatest gift that I've gotten through getting to know myself, is to understand, like, okay, this is a situation or something that I can go into feeling confident about, knowing that I'm not going to be like, oh, I'll break my back for you. I'll change my mind about everything, even though I was very sure about this. So, all in all, I'm happy that I've spent all this time just doing the things that I need to do to fill my cup. I feel like my cup is overflowing. I'm truly happy. And, whenever I start dating or whenever I get into a relationship or a long term relationship, or if I decide I'm just gonna be a rich single auntie forever, I'm fine with that too, Whatever happens, happens. I rather go down the path that's meant for me rather than trying to go down a path that isn't. So that is all I have to say about dating. If you want to tell me any of your personal dating experiences down in the comments, feel free to. Let's talk about it. But thank you so much for watching. I appreciate you as always, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.